This is the last warning you will receive. Earth's combative conduct, disregard for council, rules, and persistent it is unacceptable to militarize prohibited technologies. Send in your work to examination or suffer the repercussions. A cold demand, without a name or warmth, spit out of flawless alien mouths that had never seen actual combat, not in generations. Earth was silent for a week. The Directorate of United Terran met in the dark. News organizations shouted about diplomacy, peace. Regarding adherence, however, the Directorate's silence spoke louder than words could. Next, on the 8th day, Earth answered, and all of the stars paid attention. Instead of using translators or diplomats, Commander Grant Maddox, a wounded, stood by himself at the UN Astropodium, a veteran of the Martian Rebellion. His voice reverberated through all galactic frequencies, as did his steel, flesh, and face. Uncensored broadcast, he read without a script. We got your alert. This is ours. We don't bow down. We remember. And we don't overlook threats. Steel gray. He leaned closer to the microphone. A dozen extraterrestrial species staring from across the vacuum-locked eyes. Earth views your communication as an act of aggression from this point on. You desire obedience. Try taking it, he said. Paused. A crushing hush fell. This is a war declaration. Rather than being jammed, the feed cut stopped on purpose, and chaos ensued. By their standards, Earth was a Tier 2, definitely, but hardly a threso. The Council hadn't anticipated it. Something they wanted under control, something they feared. Just like every other planet they had intimidated into Earth, however, was different from the others. It recalled its past, including the battles waged in trenches, in cold forests, in deserts, and in broken cities. Earth's current state was the result of generations of bloodshed, and they had no intention of entrusting it to a group of arrogant aliens who had never shot in rage. Earth, not the Council, was the source of the initial strike. Within 48 hours, the Council's observational commands, 3 border outposts, were removed from the star map. Warning, no inmates. Silent strikes were planned and carried out using surgical cruelty. When Council fleets came into action, Earth's navy had already disappeared. War platforms, cloaked drones, and ghost ships were launched from the Kuiper Earth. Didn't fight as they had anticipated, and they scattered into far space. No heroic speeches or large-scale conflicts took place on the bridge. Only destruction, subversion, and sabotage. At the heart of it all, Commander, now serving as Supreme Commander, Maddox oversaw the mayhem from the UN's as Hellstorm. The Council knew his name, and he was the most formidable dreadnought Earth had ever constructed. They referred to him as Titans. Butcha. Although no human had ever verified what had transpired, there only that a Council, a squadron of 16 ships, vanished close to the biggest moon of Saturn. Maddox came back by himself. The Council said it was a communications breakdown. The truth was known by everyone else. Now, as the aliens discussed procedure and trade, the Council discovered too late that Earth had been getting ready. Paths. Earth had been developing AI that could think, training orbital shock units, and creating war machines. They misjudged Earth and hit harder and faster than anything the Council had on file. Undervalued people, and they were going to find out what it meant. Maddox stood in the war room, jaw clenched, arms folded, as Council fleet appeared on the hologram. 12 battlecruisers, 6 destroyers, and a Vega Line Advance Alpha diplomatic escort. Ambassadors are being brought into a conflict zone. His second in command. Do they think we'll hold back because of that? Harper scoffed. Maddox remained silent, his jaw steadily crunching as he gazed at the screen. I want their communications to be disrupted. Target there, destroy the remainder after escorting the ship. But they conveyed a threat, Maddox spoken in a low voice. We respond with fire outside. In the icy stillness of space, like a coiled serpent, Earth's vengeance awaited. And the stars were ready to blood. Like a predator, the UN's Hellstorm sailed through the darkness, its hull concealed by sophisticated magnetic distortion fields, making it hard for conventional galactic sensors to lock upon it. Its engines, Commander Maddox was almost silent. In the vacuum, making no noise, only chilly momentum, he stood at the helm, gazing out at the stars through the reinforced glass. Didn't say anything or blink. His hands, scarred from Anne, flexed behind his back after an explosion in the Martian mines 20 years ago. The war was no longer coming. It had already started. The command deck behind him was humming, with officers reacted quickly without panicking, knowing what was required of them because they had been taught for it. Earth didn't just give out leadership posts. Each member of the Hellstorm had earned their position with blood, perspiration, and choices that most people would live with for the rest of their lives. Harper summoned the console bank and said, Sir, Incep confirmed. Alpha, the Council fleet, is 27 minutes away. They're broadcasting once more. Let's hear it, Maddox murmured, continuing to look straight. A smooth, practiced alien voice filled the bridge after the speakers crackled. One of the Council's many representatives, this one from the 6-limbed, translucent-skinned, Serenity, who are obsessed with structure. The Galactic Council has given Fleet Alpha the authority to speak. You are to turn off your armaments and turn yourself in for interrogation. Earth warship Hellstorm, your hostility has been recognized and recorded. Punitive action will be taken. If resistance persists, the message concluded with the same tone they used to reprimand Lower Maddox, replied, "Yes, sir," species for not paying tribute. They didn't understand yet. Harper looked up. "What should I send?" "Nothing, sir. They demand a response, and they'll get one in 7. Maddox turned at last, his visage stony. Minutes, but not prior to it. He descended from the platform, coat behind him, flaring. He went into the tactical bay, where 24 strike captains were waiting. They had led deep space kill missions, directed orbital assaults, suicide squads, and they left with their breath in their mouths. Some carried medals, while others donned. Maddox said, "We're not here to negotiate," and nobody grinned. "We're not here to show restraint," he said in a low, even voice. The council decided to their stance is unambiguous. They desire a damaged, obedient Earth. They want us to be brought. He stopped, looking around the room and said, "2. To heal like every other world they've stripped and sterilized." Unfortunately, they knocked on the incorrect door. There were only mute nods instead of cheers. A tiny crack of someone clenching their gloves hard, and tightened jaws. "We draw the boundary at the Vega line," Maddox added. "This is where we serve as a reminder to the galaxy that Earth is not a political planet or a race of bending intellectuals. We are fighters, survivors, and creators of devastation when provoked." He pointed at the empty map that was shimmering. Next to them, their navies move more quickly, larger and more pristine. They've never fought us, though. Not at all. They have never witnessed human behavior in a corner. His gaze grew gloomy. "They'll get it." As the strike continues, back on the bridge, Maddox leaned over Harper's shoulder and stared at the captains as they went to give instructions to their separate squadrons. Streams of data. There were others in the Hellstorm already. 3 stealth cruisers had broadcast 0 emissions while flanking the Council fleet. Drones, quiet, compact, lethal, were flying in from the cloud of a route, as well as a death satellite that poses as a main railgun of a disused mining rig was charging. "Everything in location," Harper remarked. "We've got one shot at this." "We won't need to, Harper."